So welcome to one of the most famous cities in the world, the city of canals, and one of the most famous cultural spots of northern Italy. Welcome to Venezia, or better known in English as Venice.
The city of Venice has a unique history and culture as well as infrastructure that has attracted tourists and curious visitors from all around the world for centuries. Although Venice today has been part of modern-day Italy since 1866, the city has a rich legacy of having been the capital and cultural centre of the former most serene Republic of Venice for 1,100 years between 697 and 1797, an era that has contributed profoundly to the characteristics and identity of the city and its inhabitants to this day. Much of the city's charm and character is associated with its romantic canals, architecture, and visible heritage, and it is indeed the city's palpable history and culture that has garnered curiosity from all around the world. Built on a lagoon, it was originally said to have been created by Roman settlers who took refuge in the lagoon's islands following invasions from Germanic tribes and the Huns. While the settlement had been recognized by the Roman Empire, it wasn't until the coming of the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, when the city had come to blossom in and around the mid-6th century. From its Byzantine past, it gradually transitioned into the most serene Republic of Venice at the turn of the 8th century, and continued to become less dependent on Byzantia, until eventually records of Venice's provincial status of the former disappeared altogether. The Venetians had their own leader known as the Doge, which can roughly be translated to a lord, but nevertheless served similar to that of a monarch. Though the Republic of Venice, also known as the La Serenissima in Venetian, was considered to be a republic, in those days there wasn't really much of a difference in the ways in which a monarchy and a republic were ruled other than how their leaderships came to pass. In 1797, the La Serenissima came to an end when it fell to Napoleonic France and was then handed to Habsburg Austria. It wasn't then until 1866 when Venice, along with the rest of the region of Veneto, joined the Kingdom of Italy, which led to it becoming part of modern-day Italy today.
Though Venice has a reputation for suffering from over-tourism, with various streets and squares just teeming with guests coming to visit the city, there are nice and serene, calm parts throughout the city which you can come and visit and appreciate what the city has to offer.
The legacy of La Serenissima can be seen throughout the city and its historical territories, including parts of modern-day Greece, Cyprus, Albania, Montenegro, Slovenia, and Croatia, as well as northern Italy, in the form of historical sites, ruins, monuments, and remaining artifacts. And often, whenever the Venetians went, they left their mark in a way that still makes it obvious to this day that the domain had once been part of its realm, largely through the Venetians' distinct architectural culture. Throughout all of this time within the extensive realm of the La Serenissima, the Venetian Republic's centre of government, economics, and culture was grounded in the modern-day city of Venice, its old capital. Venice's architecture and romantic canals, as well as the abundance of gondolas, are typically what one associates with one of the world's most beautiful and famous cities. But even the food in Venice has its unique characteristics defined by its environment and historical geopolitics. Venice is also a place where many writers, poets, intellectuals, and artists called home throughout its rich history. Its culture is also defined by the works that many of its citizenry have contributed to its historical legacy. Many interesting characters and communities have also lived in Venice throughout the centuries, and have contributed to its cultural traits, including members of its nobility, which is where the masquerade culture and the abundance of mask selling in modern-day souvenir shops is said to have derived from. Understood to be a preserved trait from back when rich and upper middle class Venetians wished to meander around their city in anonymity. Another example is the Jewish community, which had lived in the city for centuries, and in spite of many having sadly perished under persecution during the Second World War, their community has still managed to preserve their old quarters within the old city, complete with their own religious and community institutions and eateries. Venice is also known for some of its globally renowned sites, such as the Baroque and Renaissance-built San Marco Square, the Doge's Palace, the Rialto Bridge, the Bridge of Sighs, and the various beautiful basilicas throughout the city, just to name a few. However, One major issue that is often cited as a detriment to the city's infrastructure and living satisfaction of the city's inhabitants is over-tourism. So much so that the city's inhabitants have campaigned for years to bring attention to their suffering and to that of their historical city's infrastructure. And with some success. Since 2021, vessels that weigh more than 25,000 tons are no longer allowed to enter the city's historic centre via the Giudecca Canal, and that includes cruise ships. Venice is also prone to flooding, a phenomenon that has been known to damage sites of great cultural significance, and sadly, that also means much of its visible heritage. While some of the city's problems can be attributed to man-made climate change, some of the city's issues, such as the notion that the city is sinking, can be attributed to natural phenomena, such as the tectonic plates shifting underneath the Italian peninsula. Nevertheless, in spite of all the challenges that the city faces, there is no question that the famous Lagoon city has captivated the imaginations of artists, writers, poets, historians, and curious tourists alike for centuries. And to this day, Venice remains to be a city admired by the many intrigued individuals that flock to the city every year to experience its majestic sights. We just hope that the widespread love and respect for Venice translates to its perseverance for many years and hopefully centuries to come, so that future generations can have the privilege to love, respect, and enjoy it as much as we have. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.